they all get together to apply themselves and charge towards the Super Bowl or the World Series or Stanley Cup or whatever. We in Genesee County, I know we can do better than we have in the past. And I just look for these different opportunities where we can bring folks together. And I think what you're doing here is marvelous, because what actually happens in the city is going to happen, if it hasn't, in the suburbs.
Right.
Whether it's the environmental issue that you're talking about, or the academic, or the crime factor, the drug issue, gang issues, nothing is stagnant in life. There's no such thing as status quo.
Right.
Migration occurs to every object in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is marvelous, what you're actually bringing together some of the schools that sometimes get overlooked. Beecher and Westwood Heights, many times because of the situation and where they're located, tough economic center, that you would bring such a worthwhile effort, particularly to those two schools. I think that's marvelous, to give these kids a chance to look at things that they'd never have a chance to do.
Right.
How did you pick those two schools?
Well, really what we're trying to do as part of University of Michigan Flint is build on some existing partnerships and programs that already exist within the university. And so the Flint Confluence Initiative is really just trying to build on existing partnerships. And there are partnerships between the university and Westwood Heights School District and Beecher Community Schools. And certainly we're looking to expand those.
Brian, you're a photographer. Is that right? It says you were involved with the planning, and you have brought some of these issues forward because of photographs and pictures you've seen around the community.
Right. One of the things of being a police officer and I guess somewhat being an artist or writer or photographer is that you try to make observations about your environment and try to articulate those observations with, one, to bring awareness to some of the things that you've already talked about, and then secondly, to ultimately bring about some positive action to try to help change some of these things. And so that was what I was able to do in a workshop that we had, to just share some photographs, some photography, some to really get people emotionally connected to some of the things that happen in the inner city, and ultimately to let these young people also, as we move into that realm with them, to let them express themselves, because our young people have so many ideas and so many creative solutions that they may offer, but we may never hear it because we don't allow them to we're always, as you said, telling the young people rather than listening to what they have to say about it. So, I look forward to that.
Hey, this is John Gleason with the Community Chronicles. Today our guests are two dynamos from Genesee County trying to fill the void. And I want to thank them both for being here today. Danielle Gartner with the Confluence of Flint Initiative. What a name. And Brian Willingham, a local, not only a policeman, but local celebrity. He was recognized nationally a few years ago. He had a chance to meet and be recognized and rewarded by President Bush. What a great honor. That's a great thing. I don't care how you think politically, whether you like the man or like his policies or not. It's still the leader of the free world. It's a great honor.
And that was explained to me as well. It's like this, respect the office of president.
Absolutely, we have to.
And I think that goes for just leadership, period, whether it be the councilman or the mayor, all the way up, senator, whether we like people or get into the personalities or not, or politics, we should respect position.
I love it.
We should.
Institution.
Yeah.
More important than individuals. Always. That's a great way to look at it. You seem so unassuming, and yet you've done so much. You seem so quiet for all that you've accomplished. You must have had a good mother.
I did.
When I see a good person,
I
just naturally assume they had good mothers.
Yeah, I did.
Good mothers take care of business.
Yeah,
dads are important.
Right.
They bring the money home and they afford us things. But mom's disciplinarian, our guidance, our conscience. Right. It looks like you had a great mother.
Yeah, I did. I hope she's listening.
Yeah, I hope she's done a great job with you. That's great.
Yeah.
Danielle, you seem awful young for this.
Do
What would make a young lady like you think this is important? Why would this be important to you?
Well, I guess part of it is kind of the personal experience with just spending time in the natural world, that I explained earlier. But my background also, I'm really just committed and motivated to work towards these things. I think this work is so important for helping people, especially young people who maybe aren't connected to the environment, become more connected to the environment.
But you've taken a great responsibility here. This is not only intergenerational, but it's so encompassing. And your hometown is where?
Well, I'm originally from Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Yeah, the Chips.
That's right.
The Chips. When I look at this, the Confluence of Flint initiative, and it does reflect on everything you're trying to bring, a confluence of generations, a confluence of concerns about the environment, a confluence of bringing people together for a common goal. I need to ask you, who thought of this name? It's somewhat of a cumbersome name, but yet it's an all-inclusive name. Who designed or thought of this name?
Well, I'm happy to hear that you kind of hit the nail on the head with what we were going for with the name of it.
Yeah.
It was actually the director of a university outreach right now, which is Jonathan Jaros, who really brought that name
to great name.
fruition. Yeah.
Most people look at something when they start an organization, they want an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
But you pretty much have your mission statement right in the title of your organization. I mean, it's going to be hard for people to say, okay, I know about this organization. Where in the world would I find it? In the yellow pages or Word? So, if they want to get a hold of you, what are some information, contact numbers they can have?
That's great. Well, I can certainly give you the number to reach me at, which would be 810-424-5456. Similarly, you can find us online right now. We've got
that's the way we do it
web
today.
Page. That's very true. Web page. If you go to umflint.edu/outreach, you can find us that way. Similarly, you can just Google Flint University Outreach.
Confluence of Flint Initiative. Mm-hmm. There's good names in all of them.
Yeah.
And the funding. You got the startup money.
We do.
Is there a commitment to make this a long-range effort?
Yes. Well, the Great Lakes Fisheries Trust is committed to keeping this to be a 10-year effort, actually.
Beautiful.
So it's not for certain that we have the continued funding, but right now we've got 20 months worth of funding, and assuming we continue to make good progress, there's no reason we can't continue this for the 10 years.
Now, you have to collaborate with them and probably forward on your efforts to continue the funding. You have to keep them apprised of incremental advances that you've made?
Correct. Yep, there's a pretty intense evaluation process associated with all of this to make sure we're meeting our goals and outcomes. But assuming we keep building and getting good results, then...
There are many things to this I like. I think it's exciting. We need to do a better job getting the word out about this.
I agree, yeah.
How long have you been doing this? How long have you guys been going?
Well, I've been working... I was brought into this, like you said, back in the spring, summer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's...
So you're going on to a year. It takes a while to get things in place, though, right?
It certainly does.
And you got to get your funding secured. And do you limit? Is there like a board of directors, or do you limit the number of folks that can be part of this, or volunteers, or what's the organization like itself?
Yeah, well, we have a kind of a core coordination team that includes a lot of consultants, education curriculum specialists, and things that kind of oversee the day-to-day stuff. Me included in that. And then we also have an advisory board that's made up of a few teachers and administrators from the school districts we work in, and also a few community partners. And then as far as teachers involved, we've got 12 right now in these two school districts.
That's great.
So we sort of start small, but that's on purpose. Right now we're in the pilot year, so we're trying to make sure we build this in a way that makes sense and meets the needs of the schools, and also we get the results